Also we have.
So how many people have logged on then?
Yes, ma'am, they are all logged on.
There are only 64 participants.
But we are going live. We are going live
Huh.
on YouTube. The rest of them will be there because we can't allow everyone the
Yeah, it
entry.
will crash. It will crash.
Yes, yes.
Chaliye beta. Let's
Ishita,
start.
start.
Huh.
Water, emerging as one of the single most important resources of planet Earth, is in many ways a lot like literature. They both have their own freedom, their own journey. They cannot be owned, nor can they be kept. They travel through the universe and transform worlds. They transcend
Beta, your
time.
voice is not clear. It's a breaking kind. Just see.
Okay, I think network issues. They travel through the universe and transform worlds. They transcend time and space to share and teach. Water is magic. Water is you. Literature is magic. Literature is you. With this beautiful thought, I welcome everyone here present here, wishing everyone a warm and a happy morning.
As the student representative of Delhi Public School Howrah, it's a pleasant privilege to introduce to you all Sangam, a literary conglomerate. I, Ishika Bhavsar,
And I, Sushmit Sengupta, the student representatives of Delhi Public School Hara, we feel privileged to be a part of such a noble idea, a wonderful confluence.
water has been an enduring theme of art since time immemorial. It has always fascinated humankind, authors, and poets alike. And today, Delhi Public School Howrah is all set to celebrate Sangam, a confluence of water and literature virtually. Sangam suggests possibilities, opportunities, creativity, the colorfulness, and the vibrance of youth, keeping whilst intact the values associated with it.
Water is the driving force of all nature, the substance of life. Pure water is the world's first and foremost medicine. Hence, let us start the day with an invocation song, hailing and worshipping the cleansing power of water. I would request everyone to take some water in their palm and hold it as long as the prayer continues. And as the prayer ends, we all will cleanse our hands with the water, symbolizing our first step towards cleaning the surrounding mind, body, and soul.
Aranya sir, please start.
ॐ जलबिम्बाय विद्महे नीलपुरुषाय धीमहि तन्नो वरुणः प्रचोदयात् ॐ जलबिम्बाय विद्महे नीलपुरुषाय धीमहि तन्नो वरुणः प्रचोदयात् देवी सुरेश्वरी भगवती गंगे त्रिभुवनतारिणि तरलगे शंकर मौलि विहारिणि विमले मम मतिरस्तं तव पदकमले ॐ देवी सुरेश्वरी भगवती गंगे त्रिभुवनतारिणि तरलगे शंकर मौलि विहारिणि विमले मम मतिरस्तं तव पदकमले मम मतिरस्तं तव पदकमले मम मतिरस्तं तव पदकमले
Thank you, sir. I would now invite Ms. Maurya Mishra and Aman Mishra from Storyteller to moderate the event further.
To the A very good morning to the principal and staff and children of Delhi Public School, Howrah, and all the participating schools, and our chief guest, Ma'am Sudha Murthy. I am Mayura from Storyteller Bookstore. I would like to introduce Principal Ma'am Mrs. Sunita Arora. Mrs. Sunita Arora, the founder principal of DPS Howrah. She is a passionate, research-oriented administrator of 26 years of valuable experiences in the field of education. She is the Vice President of Bharat Scouts and Guide Wing in the Howrah district, Joint Secretary of CBSE Sahadia Complex, Kolkata, member of West Bengal Entrepreneurship Council. She was awarded the Best Inspiring Teacher Award by the University of Engineering and Management. She is a part of the Review Committee of Early Childhood Care, CBSE. Under her leadership, the school is being awarded with several recognitions and awards. Her vision to the school is to create individuals sensitive towards nurturing and persevering nature and arming them with life skills required as a holistic the 21st century. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting us. I would now request you to take over the proceedings.
Please unmute yourself.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Sorry. It is indeed a proud moment for us at Delhi Public School, Howrah, where we have got an opportunity to have amongst us a stalwart of such stature, a person whom I admire the most as that Indian author who has made a place deep inside me, my students, and my teachers. Yes, I'm honored to introduce our chief guest for Sangam, today's literary conglomerate, who is none other than Mrs. Sudha Murthy. It is always too less to make a complete introduction for ma'am. She was born in 1950 in Shigaon, Haveri district in North Karnataka. She completed her engineering from BVB College of Engineering, obtained first rank across all branches and received a gold medal from the Institute of Engineers. She did her ME from Indian Institute of Science with distinction and started her career as an engineer with Telco, now Tata Motors. Today, she's the chairperson of Infosys Foundation and has handled 16 national disasters in the last 24 years. She studied in a Kannada medium school till the 10th standard and fell in love with the language. Her strong ties to the language and its people led her to establish more than 60,000 libraries in Karnataka. She also strongly believes in creating awareness for social causes and has passionately traveled the world for this purpose, including universities and gatherings in USA, Colombia, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, New Zealand, Australia, England, Thailand, Vietnam, China, Tibet, and Singapore. A prolific writer in English and Kannada, her books have been translated in all major Indian languages and have sold over 30 lakh copies around the country. She's a columnist for English and Kannada dailies with 30 books and more than 200 titles to her credit, including novels, non-fiction, children's books, travelogues, technical books, and memoirs. She has also received 9 honorary doctorates. Some of her awards include the R.K. Narayan Award for Literature, the Padma Shri in 2006, the Atamba Award from the Government of Karnataka for Excellence in Kannada Literature in 2011, the Lifetime Achievement by Crossword Books Award in 2018, and more recently, the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Award for Excellence in 2020. She lives by the belief that generosity of a few is hope for millions. We extend our warmest welcome to you, ma'am. And with that, I would request you to address the ceremony. But before that, This is my biggest fangirl moment taking place. And we have been using your books since the past 3 years from classes 5 to 8. And the books which we have used so far are The Magic Drum and Other Favorite Stories, Something Happened on the Way to Heaven, Wise and Otherwise, A Salute to Life, and Grandparents' Bag of Stories. These are the books which my students have been reading since the past 3 years. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Principal Ji, arranging this meeting for the kids, because I love children, and particularly in my vast experience, I have noticed any program which we do related with the books in Calcutta or in West Bengal are always very vibrating and exciting, because Bengalis by nature are book lovers. That I have noticed. Even today, your whole innovation, your whole program, the way your students talked, and the prarthana or the prayer song was so beautiful. Water is called jiva in Sanskrit, actually, because without water one cannot live. And you have dedicated this to water, and there is a shloka on Ganga, made me to think so differently than others, because most people don't even think this way. They say somehow you do the program. No, you have done with a lot more care, with a lot more affection and understanding what is important in life. And that is I will quote you people in many other, in other schools, that how they thought, and this should be the way to think, for the students. And students actually listen to leader, and whatever you do, it is the leader's quality. So, ma'am, you have done a great job, because I was really touched by the, the whole program today. Now, Sangam is definitely, there are many ways to call Sangam. Sangam is actually, in Sanskrit, it says joining. Many rivers can join, many people can join. And in Buddhist literature, Sangam is very important, because Buddhist people, monks, used to join together and discuss. But that's when Bodha Sangha came. And the first lady monk was Sangamitra, because it came from Sangha, and she the one who went to Ceylon, and she made Buddhism as international. That credit goes to Sangamitra. I'm very happy at a school level you have literature, because I was reading a book and it says, somewhere it was written there, if you do not read books as young children, as later as an adult, you cannot even think. Original thinking you will not get. People who read only can think a lot. And it is so essential that reading is a must, literature is a must. What is the difference between an animal and human being? Number one, animals cannot express or talk. Number two, animals walk by 4 legs. We walk with only 2 legs. Number three, the Sanskrit shloka says, if you are not fond of literature, if you are not fond of any fine arts, there is no difference between an animal and a human being. So fine arts in general are the essential quality of a good civilization. The index of civilization is fine arts. Okay, fine arts includes reading, writing, poetry, dance, and music all together. And in Bengal, I think you are good in all 4. That's the reason your kids are brought up in a much better way. Particularly, any Bengali house you go, there will be one harmonium. Used to be there in olden days. Now I think you have a music box or something like that. But they have this culture of a Ravindra Sangeet and a harmonium and a good couple of books. And that is a very good culture. Now, children, why they should learn literature in a very young age? Without literature also one can live. It is not possible. But the finer aspect of life, you will not get it. For example, if you are a hardcore scientist, okay, you can do that all the time. But you will not be complete without knowing literature. Literature makes a person much more human, much more understanding, much more compassionate. The power of literature is very high, and that's the reason even in Nobel Prize, the prize for literature is always controversial, because there are so many good people, and it depends on what makes one happy. So literature plays a very important role in one's life. Many experiences we may not get in life. For example, person like me, I will never be able to hike Mount Everest or climb Mount Everest. I will not be able to do. But if somebody goes to Mount Everest and comes back and writes, the difficulties, the joy, the expectation, the disappointments, the route of climbing Mount Everest, I may not be able to understand all 100%, but at least 10% of knowledge I will have. So in life, we cannot get all the experiences in one's lifetime. It is not possible. So if you read different books, then you get different experiences. That's the reason reading is a must. Reading gives you an exposure for different experiences. And life with experience is always rich. In olden days, it was rather easy to make children to read because the entertainment sources were very little. We never had TV, we never had, rarely somebody will have telephone. We never had mobile, nothing of that sort. So the only source of entertainment for us was reading. But today, the children have so many options they have. So making children to read is not that easy. But however, the joy of reading, particularly in COVID time, many parents have introduced. When you have a book is a never failing friend. I'll give a small example. You know, when I'm from a teacher's family. My grandfather was a school teacher. So for all our birthdays, it was never a gift was never lavish. Always it was books. They said, okay, you can buy a book worth of 5 rupees in those days, 60 years back, 65 years back, 10 rupees. The limit they will tell, and you go to a shop, you buy, and my grandfather will come and pay the bill. So in a very young age, we started collecting books and making our own libraries. And this habit continued. And I always consider, if I go to somebody's house, I always glance what kind of books they have. If I go to school, I always ask them, show me your library. Because library is the index of knowledge, according to me. In my generation, at least, we grew up that way. So once, about 40 years back, when I was married, somebody called me and my husband for dinner. And my husband told me, oh, they are very well off, rich people, big people. I said, maybe. We went to their house and they served us dinner in a silver thali. We had a good dinner, everything. I came back and I told how poor they are. He said, why? I saw in their house there is not a library, there's not a single book other than newspaper. I said, what kind of life they lead? Because the index of a good life is not only lavish, you have what kind of a car you have, what kind of how many bedrooms you have. The index of a good life is what kind of a culture you have, what kind of a books you have, what kind of a music you know, what kind of a dance you can understand. This is index of a good life. Okay, so that's the reason I felt it. If somebody does not own a book, that person is a poor. And in Bengal, you people have never made me unhappy. You always made me happy, because once I went to someone's house, I gave the kid 200 rupees. I couldn't buy sweets, so I thought I rather give money to the kid. I said, "Beta, you buy rasagulla out of that." And I thought the boy will be very happy. He said, no, I will not buy. He kept that money inside his pocket. He said, once a year we have Pustak Mela. I think you have a book fair in Calcutta. And that time there will be a good discount. I'm going to buy. I gave him another 200 rupees. I said, first 200 for your sweets, next 200 rupees for your love for books. So you buy all 400 rupees books. And that is the culture which you people inherit. So Sangam is the best thing for you people to exchange ideas, colorfulness, exchanging good reading, exchanging, your creativity. And creativity is not taught in the school. It is always encouraged in the school. It is born with you. It can be polished in the school, but it comes with the Ma Sharada's Kripa. And you have Saraswati Puja with a beautiful statue that I have seen. Please do that. And school is encouraging you. Take advantage of that. Read a lot, imagine a lot, create a lot, enjoy a lot. Please remember, the art of reading makes you to high lot more creativity, because your imagination goes on increasing. Like if you read Mahabharata, you think of Krishna is Neela Megha Shama, Ajanubahu, Padma Nayana. And I mean, there are many ways that Vishnu is described, Suppose you grow up seeing TV and then you ask, who is Krishna? Depending on which era you are born. If you are 80 born, then you say Nitish Bharadwaj is Krishna. Otherwise, Sarvadamana Banerjee is your Krishna, or Mr. Jain is your Krishna. So what you see, it will limit your imagination. Whereas I can imagine Krishna a lot more because I have never seen a TV when I grew up. So the imagination was left to the person's capability. Kids, I want to tell you, enjoy this festival. It's a great opportunity. You don't get. As a kid, I never got this. If you get that one, learn new things, learn, talk to others. Don't envy somebody writes better than you. That is fine. You also can become better. Then learn. Don't go on a computer and learn the words. By heart the dictionary. By heart the dictionary. That helps you a lot if you are writing. People ask me how to write. I said, first, to write, you should have a sensitive mind. Second, your vocabulary should be good. Third, you should write because you enjoy to write, not to please somebody else. Fourth, you should have experience. Get new experiences and make a habit of, and most importantly, make a habit of writing. Everything what you feel, you should write it. Like my mother was a school teacher. She used to tell me, every day you should write 25 lines. I said, what is there every day to write? She said, what you felt every day you write. I used to fight with her. No, I don't want to write. But she made it compulsory. And then I started writing. Then even though she never told me, many, many years I wrote. Oh, there's a good rain, I would write about that. If there's a flower festival, I write about that. If there's a Durga festival, I write 25 lines. That made me to express myself very well. So kids, take this opportunity, enjoy that, have good creativity, and for that you should be sensitive. Like how a blotting paper or a chalk piece can absorb all the ink on the floor, you should absorb the atmosphere surrounding you, and then you should write. Don't think the day you write, you'll become a writer. Over a period of time, you become a writer. So I wish I would have been happy agar bacche hote. I wish I would have been a kid and participated, but I can't do that. I wish you all the best. Enjoy the festival, write more, and be nice to everybody. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Any question, answers, anything there, I will be able to answer.
Hi, ma'am. How are you doing? So
I'm
good
doing
to see you.
fine.
Namaste.
Yeah. Storytellers are part of my Eastern India tour, I suppose.
Yes,
Yes, we're always there, ma'am.
We're waiting for you to come to the shop.
I will come. Whenever I get vaccination, I'm coming to Kolkata. I'll
Thank
come
you.
to your shop. Okay.
Most
Thank you so
welcome.
much, ma'am. Most
Thank
welcome.
Ma'am, these are the books that you are asked the children to read, Gopi Dani.
Yeah. 1 and 2. They have become
Yes.
extremely popular with the kids.
Yes, ma'am.
We've got the jigsaw puzzles as well, so it's
Yeah.
going very well. A lot of people are,
I'm
inquiring.
happy. It's more than, it's not money it's not that money, but it's the joy that I want to tell you one thing. When English teachers particularly, when you were young, when I was in my time, there were only two types of schools. One was a convent run by nuns. Other one was vernacular school run by people like us. So we never had English medium schools. Okay. Today, your generation, you have English medium schools. So most children in city, they go to English medium schools. Now, when you want to read children section of English medium, children storytellers are most of the time they are from Western world, like Enid Blyton. Okay. So their country, whatever is effective to them, they have written books, which is not actually one-to-one translation in India. So Indian children who are going to English medium requires English story books for children, which will connect them to Indian culture. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's the reason I realized that children like my books. The reason is not I'm a great author. I connect them to their roots. Nana, nani, dada, dadi, English medium, English words and festivals, Durga Puja, Saraswati Puja, Diwali, and that in English, which is so different than Western writers. So I'm happy that a lot more Indian people are coming into children's section, writing children's stories, and our children should be enriched by these experiences. Tell me.
Thank you.
I would request the host to please unmute and bring forward the children. I'll just call out the names of the children and the school and the class that they are in, so that they could interact with ma'am. So the first one would go to Sanskriti Roy, class 5, DPS Howrah.
My God.
Sanskriti, please say hello to ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, beta. Good morning. Tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. So my question is that, ma'am, you have written many stories from children's books, fiction reads, mythological reads, family bonds, and many more. So, ma'am, which genre do you enjoy writing the most?
It's hard to tell because, like I always tell, ask your mom, which if she has 2 children, whom she likes the most. But easy to write is always adult book, experiences. Because what I see, I write. Children book, I make a preparation. I myself should become a child and write. Okay. But easy to write, I can tell. Easy to write is my experiences with Infosys Foundation is easy to write. But the joy to write is children book. Because I become a child, I enjoy it writing for them. Yes.
Thank you so much. The next question is for Pranjal Pawar, class 9, DPS Panvel.
Pawarji.
Is Pranjal here? Pawarji?
Okay. Chaliye. Next.
Okay, so we go to the next one. This is from Tista Bhattacharya, class 9, Hind Motor Education Center.
Okay. Where is Tista?
There, she's right here, ma'am.
Yeah, beta. Ask me.
Ma'am, we have all heard of your trials and tribulations you have had back in your college days, trying to make a place for yourself in a male-dominated society. What would your suggestions be for today's girls who, like you, want to make an identity for themselves?
That is quite a difficult question. You should have courage. You should have courage. I never wanted to show, I know I will make a path or not that way. I had courage. Courage, let anybody tell anything. As long as morally, ethically, I'm doing right, I rather do it. So if you want to keep your identity, you should have courage. When you have courage, you will have a lot of, actually in everybody's life will have a lot of difficulties. My life had a lot of difficulties in my own way. Your life will have a lot of difficulties in your own way. You know, in my life, that time there was not so much competition. In today's kids, you have so much competition. Every day there is a competition in everything. So every life has every time they have their own difficulties. But you should have courage and you should have hope in life. That makes you to take to a different level in life. Courage and hope, or courage and positivity, or courage and positive vibration, courage or thinking positive all the time. That takes you to a next level.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you so much. The next question is from, one second, please. Mohir Chakrabarti, class 6, Don Bosco, Lilua.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, beta. Tell me.
Ma'am, my question is, who according to you is the best contemporary author in the world now?
My God, I don't really worry who is the best. What I enjoy is, most of the time is British authors, English authors. I enjoy their books a lot more, but I don't compare anybody with anybody because every flower is beautiful. Every flower is colorful. Every flower cannot be, makes its own presence in the world. So is every writer, or so is every human being. Okay, next.
Thank you so much for that. The next one is from Ananya Kaushik from.
Yes, good morning, ma'am. My question is, who and what inspired you to become a philanthropist?
I have written an article, it is in the book, How I Taught My Grandmother. In that book, I have written, Amma, what's your duty? Yeah, I think it's my daughter who made me to do this one. My daughter asked me a question, Amma, what's your duty in life? And that made me shaken up that what is my duty, I thought. And if possible, you read that book, How I Taught My Grandmother to Read. In that, there's a chapter known as Amma, what's your duty? Okay. Next.
Ma'am, I read
Thank
that
you so
book.
much.
You read that?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is that? Yes, ma'am. Let's see.
Ma'am, Don Bosco Lilo Mohir, ma'am.
You read that. Amma, what's your duty?
Yes, ma'am, I read that.
Okay. What is this Mohir? Lilla Mohir is a part of Calcutta?
It's
Or
Howrah.
city?
It's
Howrah.
Howrah.
Okay,
It's in
okay,
Howrah.
okay. I thought there's some place by that name.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. Lilua is a place very close to Howrah.
Okay.
Okay, the next question comes from Utkarsha Chatterjee, who's in class 6, Vibgyor High, Arolia, Maharashtra.
Hello, ma'am. My question for you is, if you were a student during this pandemic, what positive or negative impact would it have on your personality?
No, I would have read a lot because 1 year no school, and you can't go out of the house, and you have a lot of books at home. I would have enjoyed to read a lot. Sit at a stretch because as a child I used to read a lot actually. So I would have taken advantage of this position and I would have read a lot. Whenever I get bored, then I always think, okay, I get bored, but compared to somebody, my life is much better. So okay, I always felt that there is easy to become negative, but you should not become. You should try to become positive as much as possible. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for that. The next question is from Himangshi Chabra, class 11, DPS E-City, Bangalore.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
You could have asked me here only. Why,
good morning, ma'am. So considering... So, ma'am, considering that the theme of the... Oh, you cannot? One second.
What does it matter? Doesn't matter. Tell me.
Ma'am, so considering that the theme of the event is inherently associated with water and the importance of conservation, would you like to suggest some, methods to solve the problem of water scarcity, which is in the hilly areas?
Actually, we have done that work, in the eastern hills of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, that series of hills are there. You are from which area? You are from Bangalore. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In Andhra Pradesh, there are eastern hills are there near Visakhapatnam, etc. And on the mountain here, there were the water is available in springs in mountains. Okay. So the villagers below said, we want that, and what to do? We told them it's very easy. We will give you material. We'll give you an engineer. We'll put the pipe there. But you have to give free labor. And we put the pipe in such a way that the water was collected in a big tank, and they will take from there. There were, taps were supplied. So this work we have done in the Andhra Pradesh actually. So if you have water problem is not possible to solve by one person. It is a rare resources. It is important resources. It has to be done with a different planning scheme. Different experts should be involved. But this one we took some experts' opinion to have done that work in Infosys Foundation. That they gave the labor, we gave the material, and we made it very successful. Thank you. Next.
That's amazing, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. The next question comes from Hritik Agarwal, class 11, DPS, Howrah.
Namaste, ma'am. Very good morning.
Good morning.
Many people, including myself, have a general issue of procrastination, which often hinders our development even if we don't want it to.
What is that? I'm not able to hear one. I'm not able to see you.
Hello?
A little bit, Ritik, a little bit loud.
Okay. So, many people, including myself, have a general issue of procrastination, which often hinders our development even if we don't want it to. So, ma'am, what is your motivation behind perseverance?
Motivation is, I look life in a different way. Like, we got compared to, actually, I will tell you how I used to think at least. And how I think at your age, I used to think. Look at the Milky Way. Look at the Milky Way. There are many, many suns are there. One of them is our sun. Out of this sun, there are many planets are there. One of them is Earth. On this Earth, many continents are there. One of them is Asia. In Asia, many countries are there. One of them is India. In India, many states are there. One of them is Karnataka. Okay. In Karnataka, many villages and towns are there. One of them is my hometown Hubli. In Hubli, there are many, many people are there. One of them is our family. And in our family, many people are there. I'm one of them. So when you go on dissecting that way, you feel you are so small in the universe. And you got this human life. Because you got a human life, you should make, number one, useful to everybody, useful to yourself, and lead a good life. For that, you should work hard. Nothing comes free except mother's love. Nothing is free in this life except mother's love. So that is the way I looked at it, like, look, I have a human life and it's so rare to get it. And in that, I will work very hard. I will be nice to people. I will achieve something. And I will do something which brings me happiness. And that is to motivate me to work. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I have another question here from Samriti Basak. She's in year 5 of Birmingham. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Birmingham Primary School in the UK.
Birmingham. Huh. Okay.
Are you here, Baba? Samriti?
Yeah, I can hear. Hello, ma'am.
Hi, beta. This must be very early morning for you. 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning?
5.
5 in the morning, huh? Thank you, thank you. Otherwise, when I'm in London, actually, you could have made one session with me, then getting up at 5 in the morning. Okay, beta, tell me. Chali, ab bataiye.
I want to ask, ma'am, why is planning a story so important instead of just making it up as you go along?
Why stories are more important than
Planning.
Planning, huh? Your mom is there, okay? Let her also. I can see her also. Come. Mothers also can come.
I think Samriti can repeat. Samriti, repeat your question, please, again.
Why is planning a story so important?
I think she wanted to ask because in school they have always been said that they plan story using different techniques, and she always said that why do I have to use different technique? Why can't I be creative and plan the story as we go along? That was her question, basically.
Okay, it depends on how we look at it. For example, in India, we this in our culture actually we don't plan the stories. We just tell them, okay, even our stories are, like I don't plan a story. I sit within 10-15 minutes, I'll be able to write a story. Okay, but over a period of time. But if you plan writing, that you should do. For example, I have a story, but I should plan it to write it. That you should do. Otherwise, there's no systematic way of keeping your records. Or they should keep an aim to write. For example, when I decide to write like Gopi's book or anything, then I say, I must finish it by 10 days. Okay? And then I'll edit it by next month. Third month, I'll send for publication. Actual processing, you should plan. Creativity cannot be planned. I can't say, I will create between 5 and 6 in the morning. I can't create. Try to understand. Creativity does not have, circumference, or creativity does not have any borders, but execution requires planning. That's what I have done and I feel. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just have one more question, but I don't have a name, ma'am. This is from Techno India Public School, Hooghly. So was there somebody who had submitted a question, please, from Techno India Public School Group, Public School in Hooghly? Do we have a student? Ma'am, I'll call out the question to you. That I will do. I hope the student shows up. The question is, ma'am, as we all know that you were a professor of engineering, how did you start your journey as an author?
As a kid, I used to write. As a kid of 8, 10, I used to write essays. And when teenage also, I used to write. And after engineering, I started writing more. It is not like, I started writing one fine day. No, I used to write from the beginning. It is small things, may not be big things. Like writing an essay, writing this, writing that. And it went on developing. And I went on changing over a period of time. Like my first novel came in 1979. Okay, then my first English book came in when I was 51 years old. So it continuous process, continuous improvement process, continuous writing process. Over a period of time, I have written off. I started writing seriously in 1979. That means almost 42 years, 42, 3 years.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Those were all the questions. I would like to invite back Principal Ma'am Sunita Arora, so we could declare the Inter-School Fest open.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I think thank you so much, ma'am, for your precious time. My only one request is whenever you're in Kolkata, I would love to have you in my school.
I will.
Yes, please do that. In fact, if we had an annual day this year, I would have definitely got you as the chief guest. That's my dream. So I thought, okay, let us do it virtually for the time being.
Ma'am, what happens, I will tell you. I do come to Calcutta for my board meetings. I am Calcutta board, IIT Kharagpur board. Now I'm doing virtual because of COVID. But, don't make it an event and call me. I will not be able to make it. When I come to Calcutta for my board meetings, that time I'll stay an extra one day and visit your school and storyteller also, because I love to go to bookstores.
Sure.
Okay. So those two I will do. Keep in touch with Shruti, my editor.
Yes.
She will arrange one day extra for me, and then I'll take off.
Thank you so much for your precious time, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I always enjoy with children, and Calcutta being a place where reading is celebrated, so I'm much more happy than happier than others. Okay, in the city of Calcutta. I wish all the kids all the best. Enjoy the festival. No restriction. Okay, you have to write. You don't write anything. Whatever you want to do, let them talk. Let them exchange the ideas. Let them write. Let them read. Let them enjoy. Let them do what they like to do. In creativity, there should not be any border. It's borderless. It is a borderless area. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Storytellers, people. Thank you very much. Keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. See you soon, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, beta.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.